Good morning, everybody. This is Vincent Meza with Listings to Leads, and how are you today? So we'll give it a couple of minutes. I see a bunch of people on the call. Happy Monday. And if you could, let me know how long you've been with us. And also, if you don't mind putting in the comments panel, let me know, do you have listings now or do you not have listings now? And this call is Top Tools for More Listings. So we will be talking about how to get more listings. And you can actually do it with listings or without listings. We've got a lot of great ways of leveraging listings. But if you don't have listings, we've got terrific ways to help you get more listings. So we'll give it just a couple minutes as people are logging in and getting ready. And I'll have a sip of coffee here. And it looks like we're okay on Facebook and YouTube. If you can, in the comments panel, let me know where you're watching us from. But let's get started. So good morning. And today's class is Top Tools for More Listings. And we have a lot of powerful ways of helping you capture listing leads, get listings, and also, just market out there to let people know that you can sell homes. So what's really great about this particular call and some refreshes that we made on the website here is that many of the stories right here are talking about how to get listings. So if we see this call here, this gentleman has told us in the first 2 weeks of January, he closed 2.2 million in listings. And that's from expired marketing. And this young lady here also is using our expired marketing. And she's got, as you can see, 4 listings in 6 weeks. And Scott Murray over here, he's actually saying that he's door knocking with our expired pamphlet. We'll get more in the details of all these things in a minute. And added 2.7 million to his pipeline in 3 days of door knocking. So he's really, what these folks are doing, they're in markets where expireds are occurring and they're using our tools to close those, right? And that's really the key here. Now, if we keep scrolling down, you'll see that we have Facebook ads for open houses and we have Facebook ads for just sold. And that's really what's important to us in this call today is just sold ads. If you watch this call, you'll see that this gentleman, he owns a LPT office and he runs 5 to 8 ads every week, right? He's got an office, so he's got a lot of listings, but some of the listings or some of the ads that he runs are sold ads. And in this video here, he's telling his agents, hey, I ran a sold ad. I'll show you how to do this in a minute, by the way. And I got a $4 lead that needs to sell a home for 400 grand and buy another for 450. So that doesn't happen with every lead that you get from Facebook, but it does happen. I mean, Facebook ads are a big part of our system and our clients love it. And also you can get high quality seller leads there and you can get high quality buyer leads there as well. And then the last one here is the listing presentation. Okay. And there's an interesting story with Terry Ann here. If you watch this, she's a very new agent. She's been in the Coast Guard for over 20 years. She retired recently and about a year ago got her license and moved with her husband to Florida. But in that first year, her daughter had a child and she started helping the daughter raise the baby, right? So there was like this month that she started to get active as an agent. In that month, she spoke to a neighbor who was thinking of selling their home and she right away found us. I spoke to her the day that she signed up and we created a custom listing presentation so she could present that to that homeowner. And if you listen to this call here, you'll see that they asked her, where do we sign? Right now, obviously she's a nice lady, but she'll tell you in the video, it's the presentation and how everything is methodically put there. And it's so thorough that people, she's not the only person that has said this, people are asking, where do I sign, right? So if you can see me here, I'm going to point something out because at the top of the page, these videos are talking about expireds. And I'm holding in my hand our pamphlet for expired marketing. Let's get your expired home sold, right? And this, if you go through it, is our listing presentation. We're going to see it a few times. So we deliver this in an electronic flipbook format. We deliver it in a print format, like I just held in my hands. And we also have it in like this commercial format, like a video, that is very powerful when you're doing open houses. And that's kind of going to wrap up, I think, what I want to make sure we're all understanding. If we want more listings, there are 4 major areas, maybe 5, that are going to get those for you. Number 1 is expireds. Okay, now I know not everywhere in the country everybody has expireds, but many of you do have a lot of expireds. You know, high prices driven up with COVID, high interest rates, things expire. And now you have a really serious way of turning those expired listings into your own listings. And I'll show you some of the tools about how to do that. Number 2 is actually open houses, okay? And open houses are a great way of, we have a tool called a nearby homeowner letter. You give that to the neighbors, and if they're thinking of selling, they can get their home value from this piece of paper. And they can also come and meet you at the open house. And we have some great tools to help market you and showcase you and you know, show the value that you're bringing there. And then there are Facebook ads, as we can see here. And there's our listing presentation. These are the 4 major things that you got to walk away with here today. Okay, they're all in the platform. And then we have a lot of tools. So, you know, all those tools and many others can be used in your CRM. So if you're an agent with hundreds or thousands of leads, there's a lot of tools in here that you need to start using to get in there. Oh, and Candace is saying, I love expireds. Candace, are you using our system? And Steve is not hearing anything. Hopefully you can hear us, Steve, because I think everybody else is hearing us. Oh, Steve, let me send a message to Steve if I can do this. Oh, you're good. Okay, good. Okay. All right, so let's kind of look over here real quickly. And, you know, I like to kind of state things right up front, right? Just so, and now we know, like expired marketing, right? Yeah, and this is an expired. So, you know, we have a listing presentation. It's waiting in your account. It's got your logo, your colors, your headshot, and this is really it, right? It tells, and a lot of this, if you're not aware of, if you're new to us, we do all this stuff kind of automatically, right? As much as we can, we're making it automatic. We make it so that you can run ads on Facebook and Instagram, right? We auto post to social media. You don't even have to do it. You just connect it when you sign up. We create a YouTube video and we put it up on YouTube. We put it on our channel, but if you have your own YouTube channel, we'll put it on yours at the same time. And then of course we have print marketing. We have a nearby homeowner letter. We have email marketing. We're generating all these things automatically. But this presentation isn't talking about listings to leads. It's talking about you and your company. And this is what you bring to the table, right? And so as you go through this, it's really a powerful listing presentation. And you can use this, let's get back to the front page. You can use this with any seller lead. And I'll tell you a story right now of how one of our clients used this just over the, in the holidays of last year, is he took out 200 seller leads from his CRM, wrote a brief email, just like a couple of lines, like, hey, are you thinking of selling in 2026? I have a really great way of doing that. And copied this link. Do you see this link up here, the web address? Copied that, put it in there, said, click here, right? So he didn't write a big paragraph of everything going on because nobody has time to read anymore. Just a couple quick lines and click here. And now he has 17 conversations with 17 different homeowners who want to sell, because this story just starts to sell itself, okay? Now, you can also create these for a particular home, right? And this is where it kind of gets, this is what's helping agents close a lot of deals, right? So when we go over here and look at JJ down here, right? She's very young. She's only been 3 years out of high school and not even 2 years as a realtor. And she doesn't, in a way, know better. She sees MLSs in her MLS and she calls them that day, right? calls them. She has a resource to figure out the phone numbers, leaves a message, nobody's answering. And then she calls them again, leaves a message, nobody's answering. And you know, if you know anything about expireds, that the poor homeowners are getting called by dozens and dozens of agents. So their phone's just blowing up when they expire, right? So she leaves 2 messages, no response. And then she texts them one time after that and says, would you like to see my listing presentation? And still no response. And then she creates a unique listing presentation for that homeowner, like this one here. So this picture is the picture of their home and their name is on the cover. So as you're going through this listing presentation, the homeowner can visualize what their home is going to look like on Facebook and Instagram. They can visualize what it's going to look like on YouTube and in print and everywhere else. This is what she uses to get the conversation started. And with that, she has 4 listings in 6 weeks. Now, when we recorded this was like mid-November. And she told us in that call there, she said, I'm going to get 20 listings by the end of March. That's what she's after. And I think she's probably going to do it. And let me tell you, she's in a tiny, small town in northern Iowa. And many of you are in big metropolitan areas. There's a lot more opportunity for you. So you want to kind of look at it. And that's just one way of hitting it. Okay. Now, I want to point out this page right here because this often seals the deal, right? When you ask, so if you've created this for a particular homeowner and you've uploaded a photograph in here, when you ask the homeowner, hey, while we're sitting here at the kitchen table, why don't you scan this with your phone and watch what happens? And what happens is their home pops up on a mobile optimized website. Okay. And they're pretty much blown away right there, right? That's kind of it. So we've heard this many times that this page is kind of like, ends the show. You can keep going, talks about how you'll market throughout the whole process and things like that, right? So that's kind of, you need to sort of understand. Now, I'm on my listings page right now, and you can see that I have a canceled property, an expired property, a FSBO property, and just a straight listing presentation. They all have the same flip book, right? So if you're talking to a FSBO, and some of you do like to talk to FSBOs, you got a tool to say, one, we have ways to approach FSBO. Scott does a class on that. So how you market to FSBOs and get them to start interacting with you. But at that point, when you start doing it, then say, hey, by the way, I do sell homes and this is how I do it. And so you can create that same listing presentation for that homeowner, right? And let them know, like, this is how I sell homes. Because, a homeowner does not have all this technology available to them, right? And so it really is a good time to reach out. And that's why we make that available for FSBOs and canceled. So let's see, Linda says something. It's a good question. Let's raise this one, Linda. Linda says, I gotta admit, I'm a coward. I have not gone out after expireds because I think if the other agents could not sell it, how can I? Well, guys, what do you think? Actually, there's a few responses to that, Linda. Maybe the other agent didn't even market it or market it very well. A lot of agents will just put a listing in the MLS and wait for the agents to go do something, the other agents to bring buyers, things like that. And that might not be enough in a market with high interest rates and perhaps high inventory. You might have to do more. I have a client, Tamara Lobin, who has an office account with us, a brokerage account. And we have an interview of her on our YouTube channel. And I just spoke with her this morning. And she says, I got to tell you, I'm getting so many listings. And we were talking about this listing that she had, and she wanted to run an ad on Facebook to showcase this home in New York. She actually ran 3 ads today. And I said, you need to tell these homeowners that you know how to do that, because a lot of people, especially she's in Florida, I said, they don't know how to do it. They know that they should, but they don't know how, right? And she goes, I totally tell them that, right? She says, I use your listing presentation. I walk through it, but I give, what I know as well. She goes, and I know that if I run ads in New York City for my Florida homes, I'm going to get very interested buyers. And so, Linda, there are many reasons. Sometimes it's price, right? That's probably one of the first reasons. And if you look in our mastermind group, let's go look here. I think there's something came in last week. By the way, we have a private mastermind group for expireds and listings, just focused on that. You should ask our support team how to get in here. But I know somebody, I think it was John Summers, who's on our website. He actually came in here last week and he said, yeah, one, I got the listing with the listing presentation. And that's great. It was an expired. And then, and maybe it's in our other mastermind group. And then I was running ads. I marketed it with an open house. And he said, I got it in contract in 5 days, right? This is a huge win for John Summers, right? Closing the listing with our system, using our open house marketing, and using our ad software to get the home sold. Yeah, right here, right? This guy is just becoming, you know, in our view, kind of a big a rock star here. He's part of a large office account that we have, and he started to really get his arms into our platform last summer, and by November started really reaching out and working on FSBOs. And Linda, I can tell you, everybody has a little bit of trial and error. But I do want to say to everybody, and I you know, try not to overthink this. Scott does 4 classes every week on expired marketing, and he's there to help you understand what you got to do. And we've literally built everything that you need to do this. So if you just use it, you're going to find you're going to have success with it. And that's really, you know, I think I got to just say that. Yeah. And Dina says really a great point. She says, you know, to answer to your query, Linda, she says many times on the second time, the homeowner is more realistic. And that's why you're able to sell it. And, you know, it's one of those reasons they like have different expectations now because they already tried and it didn't work. So that's a really good point. Is that the same website as propertybestlisting.com? That's a, Candace, that's a URL. I think that we use propertybestlisting.com. It sounds like ours. And yes, the question, the text IVR is unique to each property. Yeah, there's each text IVR is part of our system. You can have sign writers, they could text, they'll get instant information. Okay. So I want to also point this out here. Where do I have it? I'm going to share this with everybody too, because as I said, expireds are a big deal and I can't go, you know, too far because we have other things to talk about. But this page right here that I'm sending it to everybody is very important. And you should grab this if you can't. You can find it on our blog. Look for this title where our blog's at the bottom of our website, because this is where you can sign up for these calls. Okay. And for the calls with Scott to learn how to use expireds. And here, I'm going to click on it here, is where you order the physical books. Okay. And I'm holding one here in my hand. This will be branded to you. There's a bit of a process. You got to email back and forth. You got to feel good about the mock-up that we've made so it looks right and it looks the way that you want. And once you've done that, and that's about $70, you can then order these things here, right? Now, I want to point this out, this video right here. This was recorded in mid-November, right? And John had just started working. So John is the guy who's here, right, in our mastermind group. That's John right there, John Summers. But on this page, in that video, he's where you can watch it here, and he talks about the voicemail. He waits 2 to 3 months and then he leaves a voicemail because, you know, I think a lot of agents realize don't call these people the first few days and maybe not even the first couple of weeks. Both of these gentlemen know this, right? But what John does in his voicemail is has a really great approach to the voicemail, just like to me, and gives, you know, he's kind of saying this on the phone. And people respond because 3 months later, if they haven't sold, they're probably still thinking about it. Okay. And in that call, he's telling us, yeah, I left 5 voicemails and I got people responding and I'm meeting them. And this turns into like an hour-long conversation. They're inviting me into their home, right? This listing presentation is opening the door. Right. In that call that you're looking at right here, he says, my goal is to get 10 of these 10 of those pamphlets in my market every week. Okay. So that's mid-November. All right. And you come to our homepage, this video right here is from middle of January. And he's saying, I just closed 2.2 million in new listings in the first 2 weeks of January. Okay. He's in Maryland. Prior to that, in Q4, he had already closed 3 other listings. So he is really moving on this, and he's going to become a serious player in his office. So that's probably enough I can say about expireds. Get this page, get yours ordered. You can certainly start the conversation with the electronic version here. And let me show you how to create that, because I've showed you a couple. If you go to your listings page and you click on add listing, you can manually add a listing. And when you come here the first time, it's going to say just listed. I'll show you what I mean right here in this. The status is just listed. Okay. But for this, for expireds or FSBOs, we want to change that to either a listing presentation or down at the bottom, a FSBO, or expired or canceled. And then they'll have these titles in there. But whichever one you use, it's going to offer this up. What's the seller's name? Put the address and add 1 photograph. And that is how you create a unique listing presentation for one homeowner. It could be a FSBO, it could be canceled, it could be expired. And we just have so many stories of clients, of agents, closing listings because that story is just so strong, right? So you need to do that. You need to create those. You need to use those, and you need to get our listing presentation in front of people, right? If they're thinking of selling, figure out how to get that in front of, whether it's electronically or whether it's in print. Okay, so that's the expired story. Let's talk a little bit about open houses, because that's very important as well. Okay, so I've got an open house here. And I think there's something similar about expireds and open houses that you really want to think about, because we talk to agents every day of the week here, and I talk to a lot of agents who have said, no, I don't even work expireds. Like it's not, I don't know why, right? But there's probably I think there's a lot of agents that say that, but there are a lot of agents that say, I won't work open houses. It's just not worth my time. And I want you, if you're thinking like that, I want you to pay attention to what I'm about to show you, because our clients are closing more listings from open houses than any other part of our platform. And we got a lot of ways of getting seller leads. But the similarity of expireds and open houses is that the people you meet from an open house, I'm going to show you why in a moment, they're real people, and they're really thinking of selling their home. This is definitely true for expireds, but when you're inviting homeowners into an open house, it's very, they are real people. And let me show you how you get them in. So I have an open house saved here already, and I'm going to click the nearby homeowner letter. And this is one of the main reasons why open houses are being held by some of our top teams, like 2 to 4 times every week, 2 to 4 open houses every week, right? Because this piece of paper that I am trying to show you, here it is here. So you see, it's very simple, right? This picture of the home. Hey, got an open house, 1 to 4. Go check it out. That affects your home value. Go here to get your free home value. So this, as a reminder, is a piece of paper. If you're having an open house, print this 50 or 100 times and walk it into the neighborhood. Let the neighbors know. Now, if they're a buyer, of course they can come buy it. But if they're a homeowner, they can get their home value or come see this if they're thinking of selling, to just get an idea of, oh yeah, we're thinking of selling. I'd like to see what the competition looks like, right? What the market looks like. You will not get like 50 homeowners through there, but you will get people who are, if they're thinking of selling their home, they'll probably come through there. And you're able to meet them. So if you're doing that, so you've taken the time, you've gone to our open house you know, you've gotten our tools. You put this out. You run it out on Facebook. That's going to get the buyers in. You have an e-flyer for your database, and the e-flyer for your database means you can copy this and blast it out on your CRM. And even this can capture seller leads. 1, 2, 3 links to get buyer leads for the open house, and 1, 2, 3 links to get seller leads. So our emails are really powerful. We got call to actions for buyers and sellers. And there's even an open house sign-in form. Now, this is really more about getting the buyers in, right? But it's the nearby homeowner letter. If you're giving, 50 or 100 of those, well, now you're getting homeowners walking through. And again, you're meeting people, right? When we talk about capturing leads from email or Facebook or Google, we have a lot of ways to capture seller leads. You have to convert those people, right? And I don't know how good all of you are at converting, but that could take weeks, months, or years to convert a lead. When you're meeting an expired homeowner, they are not going to be sitting and waiting for too long. They wanted to sell their home, it didn't sell, and now you have a very compelling story on how to do that. And with open houses, if they're thinking of selling, they're going to see very quickly that you have a lot to offer. So let's talk about what you bring, what can help showcase you open house. What we looked at now is how we actually market to open house. But when it comes to open houses, and again, Scott does a full class on this, so you might want to watch it. You want to get some of these. So there are 80 PDF guides, okay, all different topics, and 40 for home buyers and 40 for home sellers. And your logo and your colors are in every page of all of these. So you want to get a PDF guide for homeowners. You want to get some for home buyers. You actually want to get 3 different ones for buyers and 3 different ones for sellers, and then go over to Office Depot or something like that and buy those tabletop, acrylic stands that you put a piece of paper in. Put one in the laundry room, put a different one in the master bedroom, put a different one in the dining room, right? So as people are walking through this house, ideally some of those homeowners that you invited, they're going to get to know you and your company. There's also a really cool tool over here that if the home is furnished, if you go to our media library, we actually have the video of our listing presentation. And again, what I'm describing to you is very different from what the average realtor is doing, what you're bringing to the table. And I want to say that open house marketing, you can actually use all the tools I'm showing you right now, even if you're borrowing the listing, right? And a lot of agents do that. There might be a very busy agent at your office. They want to have an open house, and you can kind of say, hey, does anybody want me to sit on that? Let me show you this video. Now, as you can hear, there's some music, but this is a 5-minute commercial of our print listing presentation, of the listing presentation that's in Flipbook. So imagine that you've invited 100 homeowners and maybe 5 or 10 walk through, and you've got this playing on an 80-inch TV because you pointed the remote to YouTube and found this video and you're just playing it. You can just loop it. You can just keep repeating it. It's telling a story. It's not branded to us. It's not branded to you either, but it is saying that this is what we do when we want to sell your home. And this is a very different story from what the average realtor is talking about. This, in combination with, the PDF flyers, which are going to brand you throughout the house, in combination with the nearby homeowner letters, is a big reason why our clients are hosting 2 to 4 open houses every week. They get more listings from this than anything else. Okay. So that is sitting inside your account, or you can just go find it with this title right here on YouTube. You can even download it and put it on your own YouTube channel, but holding an open house is a big deal. So let's go back to listings. And we've talked, I think, enough about open houses. We've talked enough about expired marketing. We do need to talk about the easiest way of getting seller leads. Okay. I think it's the easiest way. And that is running ads on Facebook. Okay. And I showed you on the homepage with Brian Matheson that he's running sold ads and getting $4 seller leads and turning them into business, right? So how does that work? Well, you have your listing, and by the way, you might have helped somebody purchase a home, so you know that the home is sold. You can put it in here as long as you're, paying attention to your local rules. You can put it in here and do just what I'm going to do here. So this property here is sold. I'm going to click market listing, and there are a few things you can do here, but I want to start with the easy one, right? Facebook and Instagram. So I'm going to click that, and I see. Let's see, Candace, if you don't put in the seller's contact info email and it is now live, you have missed the opportunity. Note here and add the seller's information where it says seller's info. And Linda's asking, can we order these brochures? I know you have one for expired, but are there ones for selling your home? Yes. So right here, we have a different one. You can just ask. We have just the standard one. So the one I'm holding in my hand is speaking about expireds, but there's just a normal standard one as well. Candace, you found it? Okay. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, you found it. So Linda, you can order this once you get the setup, and you can ask when you're asking for the setup, just say, hey, I don't want this for expired. I want it just a standard version. And that will look, yeah. The sound is coming in and out. Is everybody hearing that? I'm going to turn off my video and see if that helps. Is that any better, Rhonda? Let me know. Sometimes all these things running kind of slows up my stuff there. So let me close a few things. So this is a sold ad. This is a sold listing. All I did was click Facebook and Instagram, and you can see here it says another home is sold in whatever city. That affects your home value. Click here for your home value. Create ad. That's all you do. Yeah. And that's going to create an ad. And what I'm showing you what to do right here is what this gentleman on our homepage did right here. And he does this every week. He runs these ads every week, right? And the point is you want to, I think that's a very easy way of getting seller leads. You get leads with name, email, and phone number, okay? And let me just show you. You don't have to do this when you're running the ad, but I want to show you kind of what's happening when you do this. You can ask questions. There's lots of questions. You might want to change some of those questions, but the ones that you definitely want are full name, email, and phone number. And these are auto-populated, okay? So while we're looking at a blank form here, when a consumer hits your ad, these fields are filled from the profile. And then there's some TCPA language, some privacy language. And then we ask them, hey, click here and drop your address in, and then they can get an instant home value, okay? And sometimes people don't go that far. So you don't actually get the address. But from here, you have their phone number. So when you get the lead from us, you're going to know, because we're going to send you an email, that they responded to this ad. And if you don't see an address come in with it, you should text the lead and say, hey, I saw that you saw my ad on Facebook and you were looking for your home value, but we didn't get your address. Could you send it to me? Right. And then when they send that to you, just go over here to the landing page section, because you have a landing page sitting in your account already that will give you an instant home value, right? And you can go here, view this page. Everybody has this sitting in their account. Just once they text you back the address, drop the address here. And then click get home value and then drop in their email address, and you will see the instant home value, but we'll also email it to them. And then you can text them again, say, hey, did you get that? We just sent you the home values. And you can start your conversation going there. At that point, you now have their name, phone number, and email, and you could wait a day or two and create this for them, right? And say, hey, by the way, I know you're looking at your home value because we got that for you. But if you're thinking of selling, this is how I sell a home. That's a really great way and an easy way of getting seller leads is running an unsold property, and now you have a very good way of converting it. Okay. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So I do want to point this out since we're here on the landing page section. That one, if this doesn't look like your area, you can click this pencil and you can run, you can change the photo over here on the left-hand side. Okay. And you might want to do that, especially, there's certain parts of the country that just don't look like this. So you want this to kind of look like your area. Okay. So let's close that. Let's close this. And you can also notice I have like landing pages. We call them right now property valuation plans, but I have one for Folsom, one for Honolulu, I have one San Antonio, Release Valley. And the point is you can create unique landing pages for instant home values for all of your towns. Okay. So if you're building a business in 3 or 4 or 5 cities, you might want to create this landing page like this to really speak to that area, right? And once you've done that, leads to that. And I'll give you a couple of very interesting ways right now. One is an easy way is ads. Okay, so Facebook, if you run an ad on this, I want to kind of point this out because when I showed you how to run the sold ad, those leads often cost around $7 each, sometimes less, sometimes more, right? So this one's San Antonio, so I would type here San Antonio, right? And that would show up in a 15-mile radius around San Antonio, okay? But I will say this, these leads cost around $15 each, maybe even $20 each, right? So it's getting a little bit pricey, but it's pretty good. You can also run the same ad on Google, and those leads cost usually, $20 to $30 each, okay? But Google are higher intent leads. They went to Google, they had a question, they liked your answer, and they gave you their information. Those are higher quality leads, okay? Now, we also auto post these, or you can do it yourself, but we'll auto post them to your social media accounts for you. And we even give you an e-flyer for your database. So if you got a big CRM with hundreds of leads in it, you might want to take one of these, copy it up here, and blast it out because there are a lot of call to actions. But I'm going to give you something that's actually pretty cool. And this doesn't work for everybody, but actually we have a client in San Antonio who does this. He creates a landing page for San Antonio, and then he downloads the door hanger and sends it to Vistaprint and orders batches of 1,000. Okay. And he says the reason he does that is Vistaprint gives a really good value, really good price when you order in batches of 1,000. And you can see that you're very quickly, it's just like, hey, would you like your home value? So what he does is he gives a stack of these to one agent and says, hey, go walk those streets. Another agent, go walk those streets, and so on and so forth. And people quickly will scan and go get their home value. And now you've got people to talk to and really start engaging. That's a very simple way. They're not even door knocking. They're just hanging them and walking the neighborhood, right? So if that's an opportunity for you, you've got those there. You've also got postcards. And for some clients, postcards are really good. I'm going to download this because it says it's new. So let's go look at what the new look is about. That's the front with the QR code, right? And the back has a link. So the front and back have call to actions. And so if you like postcards, you've got that design as well. And this is for every door direct. So I think these are kind of easy ways. Facebook and Google ads, the leads start to get kind of pricey. And I think print is great too, right? But I do want to talk a little bit about targeting, because especially on Facebook, a lot of clients, let me show you a common ad that agents run, and it doesn't work, right? So they come here they find landing pages, they recognize this, and they click marketing tools. Okay. And they don't bother to create a unique one for their area. They just lob it out there, right? So let me show you how the mistake kind of occurs. Occasionally, for some people, it works, but for many agents, it doesn't work. And I'm going to show you exactly why right now. So I'm going to target Walnut Creek. Okay, Walnut Creek is a small town by me. There are about 33,000 people there. Let's see, but I'm not in Ohio, I'm in California. So here, okay. And boom, create that ad. Now there's a couple problems. One, this doesn't say anything about Walnut Creek. And agents just lob that out there and are surprised that it's not really, if it's not speaking to you, if it's not tailored to your market, it's just not going to work that well. The other thing is traffic. Okay, so they might get people to click. When they click, they land on the page, right? Whatever page you have behind it. This one is customized, right? So that's it's a little bit better. But actually, the one that we drive to is this one, which is super generic. So that's why I was saying you want this to look like your area. But a lot of agents don't do that, right? And then it ends up chewing up their money and they're not sure what here to create a landing page and create Property Valuation Plus and put the name of your city that you want to target, right? And I have one here for Walnut Creek. So let's go look at it. People, there's a really successful mall there. Like in our county, this is the #1 city. Like 6 million people come here every year just to shop. And so this little circle here, this is like right in the center of the mall, and there's music here and there's Christmas trees here and all that stuff. So everybody knows this place, and that makes it kind of local, right? So I'm going to click on marketing tools and let's go. And so we've gone through that. We figured let's customize it. Should get better results. But there's even another problem. And this is a problem for where I live, because I live in a dense area, right? There's towns next to towns, and I'll show you what I mean in just a moment here. So one, I don't want to use traffic. I don't want to send people to the page. I want the ads going to look the same, but when they get leads, you get name, email, and phone number every time. And that is what I want, right? Because I can act on a name, email, and phone number. If I drive them to this page, I might get an address. And when they click this button and I ask for the email, they might just walk away. That actually happens more often than not. That's why you want to use lead ads, because then you automatically get a name, email, and phone number. Let's see here. What's this? I pay for the broker listing, which includes 5 agents. I need to get my agents on these calls. Yeah, you do, John. Yeah, you do. I mean, if they want to make money in real estate, they need to know what's going on here. So let's follow through, right? We customize our page. It says Walnut Creek down here. I can also say, what is your Walnut Creek home worth? Right up here, right up top. So it's looking good right now. I know it's all, it's all specialized for Walnut Creek. So what happens when I type in Walnut Creek here, right? This is where the next problem occurs, because you see it says Walnut Creek in 15 miles. And John, you're down in SoCal, right? So you're going to have, I think, the same problem. This radius of 15 miles, this is a problem for me, right? And possibly for you. Let me show you why. Walnut Creek, California. Walnut Creek is surrounded by other cities. Okay, that's the problem. Okay, and a 15-mile radius. Well, remember I mentioned that Walnut Creek actually has 33,000 people in it. So when you run an ad on Facebook, they're not targeting anything. They're saying a 15-mile radius around this city. And let me just show you what a 15-mile radius looks like. That's about it right there. It's going to expand. While it looks like this on a map, what it really means is 1 million people, okay? And that's not really good. That's not good for you. It's not. So there is a workaround, and this is a very important workaround. I appreciate you hanging out with me here. This is what, yes, Rhonda, this will be on our YouTube channel. This is a little more advanced, but I actually think it's very important if you are farming an area. And to me, farming, kind of like, you know, it implies there's going to be this is the long game, right? Expireds are the short game, right? Open houses are short, but maybe a little bit longer than expireds. But farming, well, you're planting seeds, right? You're farming an area. And this is very important if you're going to be farming an area and if you're competing against thousands of agents, which I think most of you are. I'm on the ads page, and there's a little blue button that says create audience. And you should go find a company like Remind.com or ListSource.com or RedX.com, or I think even My Plus Leads. Scott says My Plus Leads has this, and I'll pull up My Plus Leads real quickly here. What you want, in my case, is a list of homeowners in Walnut Creek who have owned a home for more than 5 years. Okay. And what you need in that list is their name, their phone number, their email, and their mailing address. Okay. And with that, you're going to be able to farm. Okay. And right here, I'm on the ads page. I can create a custom audience that I can call Walnut Creek homeowners. It has to be a minimum of 1,000 names long. Okay. So if you're in a small neighborhood and it's 500 homes, that's not going to work. It has to be minimum 1,000 and maximum 10,000. So we have teams in various parts of the country. I know one in Dallas that has 3 lists, 10,000 names each, all of homeowners that have owned their homes for more than 5 years. And when they run ads about homes selling, they are targeting those people. Okay. And that's what you want to do. So when you upload it and you import it, it will live inside of your private Facebook ad manager. All right. And then when you run the ad, I'll show you here in a moment, you'll be targeting those people. Now, right here, this is what the spreadsheet needs to look like. And I want to say, if you buy that list from any company, you're probably going to get, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 columns of data. Save that because you might have another need for that. But save a version that's just like this. And I actually recommend that you save it in CSV instead of Excel because it just seems to work easier when you do that. Okay. So when you run that or you import it, when you create an ad, and it could be for a sold property or it could be for your Walnut Creek landing page, right? You can now, and I'm going to just type in the zip code here. This is actually really cool too. It's already on lead ads. I'm going to click create ad. And instead of typing in Walnut Creek, which means Walnut Creek and 15 miles around, meaning Walnut Creek and 1 million people, I'm going to click another way. Instead of location here, I'm going to click here and type in the name of my custom audience right here. And now this ad will only hit those people if those people are on Facebook during this time frame. This is a very directed way, and this makes Facebook incredibly powerful. Now, I want to caution you because some people make this mistake. They'll type in Walnut Creek here, and they will type in whatever name of their file down here, and that works against it, and they get no leads. Another mistake that people make is they don't typically make this mistake when they are running ads to get sellers, but you do when you try to get buyers. We have so many clients in Florida and Texas, and they like to run ads in New York City. We're talking about it now because we're talking about Facebook, but this isn't actually about sellers. And they like to run them in Chicago too, and places like LA, right? If you put more than one city in here, that blocks it out as well, and you get 0 leads. So you want to run these separately, okay? But for this home is sold home. We want to run that locally, and ideally, you want to run it in front of homeowners, okay? So now that we've talked about we bought a list, well, now you can think of there's a lot more cool things that we can do here. And one is you should take that list and put it in your CRM. Okay. And you can't do that here, just to let you know, like you can't upload that list and use a platform to email out, right? But you can put it in your CRM, and you could say, well, look, I've got 40 PDF guides here for homeowners. And if I just start at the top and I go every week, I can copy the e-flyer for your database, and you can blast those homeowners, right? You can email blast those homeowners. We'll give it a second to get there. At the same time, you could be running an ad in front of those people on Facebook, right? And this is the PDF guide where they can download this for tired landlords. Maybe they want to sell their rental properties, right? There are 40 different PDF guides, and each one of them they can download this PDF guide automatically, and it's all branded to you, every page. So if you go up here, hopefully this will say copy soon, but copy code, copy with a signature, or copy for follow-up boss. The signature is this down here, and that's your signature that we've designed for you. And that link there, and that's straight home value, right? But this link here, that picture in here, is going to drive them to a place where they can download this. So if you've invested in buying a list of homeowners from any company that you found, email them, upload it into Facebook, and run ads towards them. And also, obviously, you could be mailing just sold postcards from us. You could be mailing the nearby homeowner letter. And let me explain that to you. So I showed you the nearby homeowner letter and how it relates to an open house. But actually, a lot of our clients mail out 100 or 200 of these letters every time they have something just listed and every time they have something just sold. And they mail it to homeowners. And now that you have a list, this is a really smart thing for you to do. So you can kind of start to visualize that your farming is digital, it's leveraging social media, but it's also leveraging print. And that's a really smart way of farming. So I have nearby homeowner letter here, and let's just look at this one. We looked at another one when it was open house, but this one is sold, and this might make it a little more clear for you. And I'm going to show you one more thing. And then if you have questions, please put them in, because I think I'm about done here. So this is the just sold letter. And many of our clients will mail out 100 or 200 of these, right? For every listing that they have. And with the list that you perhaps purchased, you can do. Now, we have an integrated printer here called Express Copy. And I have an account with them. So when I connect it, I have this green button that says print and mail. So if you don't have that list, you can click Get Mailing List, and Express Copy has that list. And you can say, hey, I want to mail this out in a 2 or 3 or whatever mile radius. And Express Copy will download this letter. They will fold it, and they will mail it to homeowners in that radius that have owned a home for more than 6 years. This is a really great way of doing this, right? Because they do all the work. There is one downside. When Scott and I launched that partnership, I want to say 3 years ago. But that was kind of, exciting to us, because that was at that time the most important, effective way for our clients to get listings, high quality listing leads. Facebook will get you more leads, but the quality is not as high, right? But it's definitely worth doing because it's easy to do, and it's cheap, right? $7 on average per lead with a name, email, and phone number. That's a really great way to do it. Now, I want to show you this lady. Pat's been a client of ours for 15 years. I mean, she takes breaks and she gets distracted by some other platform, but she keeps coming back. And this is, she always mails out 100 when she has something just listed and 100 when she has something just sold. This one is sold, right? But she does something I've never seen another agent do. She takes Microsoft Publisher and she prints on the back of the paper. So she prints on the front 100 and then she flips them over and she prints it like this. Then she hand folds and hand writes these pieces of paper. There's no envelope. I don't know if you can see it. There's a little white moon tape kind of thing, right? So she's sealing it all by hand, handwriting. This thing looks really local. You basically got to open it, right? That's really the message. Because if you open it, it's very clear that, oh, I can get my home value here, right? That's what this is. So she, I'm showing you the easy way. There's Express Copy who will do all the work for you. And then there's this way, right? Which that Pat's doing. Why would Pat go through all that effort, right? If you can do it in 2 clicks. Well, that's because on the first batch of 100, she had 4 homeowners calling her, not even responding and going to the webpage, just called her. This batch, which is sold, if you read the comments, another 4 homeowners called her. So there's 8 questions from 1 listing and 200 pieces of mail, right? This is a great way of getting high quality seller leads. So definitely recommend you using that. Now, there's one more thing I want to talk about, and this, we email this tool to you. And I think sometimes it's kind of confusing because, well, one, we're asking you to read, and I know nobody wants to read anything, but then it's kind of opens up with this term Sally Seller, and that kind of just throws people for a loop. But this is the nature of it right here. We email it to you, and in our instructions, we tell you, hey, put this on your wall, okay? And so when you do that, what you're doing is we're emailing it to you, and you are meant to email it to your homeowner, okay? And just say, hey, and you want to do this early stage, like just listed, just sold, open house, right? Because it's saying from the homeowner, like me, I'm Vincent Meza, and it's talking about me, Vince Meza, but it's your homeowner talking about you. In this case, the home is sold. So it says, our home is sold and we want to recommend you at your office for doing an excellent job. Here is your phone number and email in front of all my friends and family and colleagues on Facebook. Our clients get seller leads from the friends and family of their current clients months later, because this post doesn't expire. It's not like an ad. It will stay there. And then one day, your current client's friends or family log into Facebook, because not everybody logs in every day, and they see this, they click on it, and they become a seller lead. Our clients love this. Well, 1, because it's free, and 2, it doesn't disappear. So definitely something I would recommend using. And even though you're not used to it, it's actually built in to your listing presentation. So make sure you're mentioning this in the listing presentation. We're creating tools for email and social media. And so when you present this to a homeowner, they're already going to be aware of all the things you're doing to sell a home, including giving them tools so that you don't leave any stones unturned. So it's been just about an hour. I appreciate you being here. Can I answer any other questions for you about how to get seller leads or any other part of the platform? As a reminder, this call is being recorded, and it's right on this page. And I'm going to show you something. I'm going to send this page to everybody right now. If you get to YouTube, you find our channel. This is the videos tab. And I want to point out, because I did share with you at the beginning of this call a number of videos that are on our website. I want to mention this one here. Gwen signed up in September, and I spoke to her a handful of times when she signed up, and I said, you got to get on our expireds. And she was jumping on the calls with Scott for a good couple months, and I saw her struggle. She'd email me. I could tell that she just was not grasping it. But this came in January, and just a quick video. She's saying, I got 3 listings and 2 buyers, all from listing to leads. And if you're in our classes, she's still there, and you're going to tell she is way more confident about what she is doing. Yeah, John, you definitely have to be focusing on expired. And here's the thing, guys. I'm gonna show you a couple things. I'm gonna tell you really how I think you got to put all this together and walk away with this. All right. First of all, I want to show you that if you look down here and you get back to the months of November, you're going to see the longer call. There's this guy is on our website. That's a 6-minute call there. He tells you how he door knocks. And let me tell you, he added 2.7 million to his pipeline in 3 days of door knocking. This lady here is on our website. She tells you that this thing basically closed, just listing presentation, just closed a listing. She didn't even have time to ask them to sign. They asked, where do I sign? And this is the call with JJ, who's also on our homepage. And she tells you how she does it using our stuff. And then right here is John Summers, who we've seen a few times on this call today. And this is when he just got started, right? Do our listings go to your YouTube channel? Yes, they do. By default, they go to our channel, but you can actually, if you have your own channel, you can connect it on the listings page, and then they will go to your channel at the same time. So I'm on the listings page here. And and by the way, like a lot of you use Gmail, and if you have Gmail, you actually have a YouTube channel. You maybe just never turned it on. I'll show you where to do that in a second. But I'm on my listings page, and over here it says settings, this tab. And when I click settings, and it looks like things are slowing up here, you can connect your YouTube channel right here. So Gavis, that's how we get your thing up there. If you remember also, we have that really great 5-minute listing presentation. You should upload that to your listing channel as well. I thought I was going to show us the presentation folder, or is it based on, yes, Linda, yeah. The presentation folder, I'm not sure what you mean. I think it is your listing presentation, and I'm holding one in my hand. You actually can't see it, but the electronic one is the flipbook version, which is available whether you have a canceled, an expired, a FSBO, or a straight listing presentation. All of these have a flipbook version, Linda. So if you want the print ones, I sent you the link in this call where you can order the setup and order the print ones, right? Here, you're going to have the flipbook version. And this one, like JJ, she's out there texting these to people. That's getting the appointment. She brings a physical one in her hand and walks through and closes it. So that's kind of the story. So let me wrap it up. Here's what I really think, because I've talked about a lot of things. I'm sure your head's probably, spinning around here. Here's a simple way to think of it. Okay. Get expireds going. Get listings through expireds. Hold open houses. Use our open house marketing system to get buyers and more listings. And then run ads for open houses, for just listed and sold. You're going to get more listings and more buyers. And use our listing presentation in whatever way you can. If you can do those 4 things over and over, you're going to have an awesome 2026. Okay. Borrow listings if you have to. Borrow sold listings. Borrow open houses. Do the open houses if you don't have your open houses. These things are creating business for our clients again. Can you show again how you do the flyer that a company will mail out based on certain radius? Yeah. So that is called, so it's really, if I go to listings, let's go to listings. You kind of want to do this definitely when you have something just sold. Okay. So, but a lot of our clients will mail something out when they have something just listed, right? And you might do this with postcards, or you might use the nearby homeowner letter. Okay. So I have a home that's active here, but I also have one that's sold here. So let's do the sold one. I'm going to click market listing, and you'll see that I have postcards here, which are already designed. They have call to actions on the front and back. And Express Copy will mail these too, right? But the nearby homeowner letter is the letter I was talking about earlier, and Express Copy will mail that. So since I have an account, it's connected, this green button appears, and I just say, hey, express copy, mail this in a 3-mile radius around my current listing, and only mail it to people that own single family homes for more than 6 years. That's the easy way, Linda. And definitely, our clients like this. Any other questions? Well, thank you for being here today. Don't forget, expireds are going to get you listings. Open houses are going to get you more listings and buyers. So start with expireds and open houses, get the listing machine going, use the listing presentation in any format, whether it's in the big video at an open house or in your hand when you're meeting people at the open house, or if you're door knocking, and the flip book version if you're just trying to engage people, right? You might have old stale leads in your CRM. Use the generic listing presentation and blast that out, right? And then you leverage Facebook. That's a fast, easy way of getting leads with name, email, and phone number, buyers or sellers. Google's great too. A little bit pricier, but definitely higher intent leads. So that's kind of my story, everybody. Thanks for joining me. This call is being recorded and it will be on this page later today or tomorrow. Okay. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks for being here.